Not every e-commerce brand out there should be running Facebook ads. However, at least in my opinion, every e-commerce brand out there should have some form of remarketing setup running in their account to be able to remarket people that have engaged with their brand in the past. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about the remarketing setup that I personally think every e-commerce brand should be running, where not really much effort is required. You don't need to hire any type of agency or freelance for it, and you can literally just turn it on, leave it running, and maybe come back into your ad account once in a while, once every week or every second week, and maybe cycle in a couple of creatives and make sure that you remarket and stay in touch and continue to engage with those people that have previously engaged and shown interest in your brand. So without any further ado, let's hop straight into it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video here on my channel. On this channel, this is me talking about e-commerce growth and how to leverage Facebook ads in order to increase your revenues and scale your e-commerce brand sustainably and profitably. So if this is something that might be of interest for you, then make sure to hit the subscribe button right below and check out all the other videos that I have on my channel. And I, by now, actually have kind of a lot. So make sure you will probably find something that is helpful. However, for today, I wanted to talk about remarketing, because I've encountered a lot of brands out there that are not necessarily either at the stage yet, or that are temporarily just not really at the stage where they want to necessarily run Facebook ads, or where, you know, kind of where it definitely doesn't really make sense to hire somebody internally or go with some form of an external freelance or external agency to manage their paid social, right? So then you obviously come into that dilemma that, you know, you kind of, you know, want to still run maybe a little bit Facebook ads, at least, meaning some kind of remarketing setup in order to continue to engage with people that have previously shown interest in your brand. But you don't really know where to start. A lot of brand owners, founders, or marketing managers don't really know how to manage and continuously optimize Facebook ads in the first place. And therefore, I just wanted to, you know, once and forever go ahead and clear all those myths of what you should have running in your ad account and how to optimize it on a weekly basis with literally just like 30 to 50 minutes of work maybe per week. So yeah, let's hop straight into it. Okay, in the first place, what is the setup? So the setup is pretty straightforward. You want to have a DPA remarketing campaign and a general remarketing campaign. A DPA remarketing campaign is what it's called, a dynamic product ad, and that is dynamically showing people that have previously engaged with your website and your products the product that they have engaged with. Meaning, if I go onto a website and take a look at a bat frame or at a protein pulver, right? If they have a DPA remarketing campaign running, they will dynamically show this or display this particular product that I have viewed on their website to me and to my, you know, on my Facebook feed. Right? So that is a DPA ad. The DPA campaign, that is the first campaign that you want to have running. That has two main advantages, especially when you have a large product catalog, right? It is a super personalized type of ad creative. And secondly, it automatically updates with all the products, you know, feeds that you have available and product that you have available on your website. Meaning if something is out of stock, this product will obviously not be dynamically shown to anybody anymore. So that's the first campaign that you want to have set up. Super easy to set up, literally a set it and forget it campaign, and actually something that, in my opinion, every brand out there should be running at all times. Secondly, a general remarketing campaign. So what is a general remarketing campaign? A general remarketing campaign requires some more creative effort, because different to our DPA remarketing campaign, we do want to put in there different ad creatives that we have, you know, either internally or maybe at some point externally created, and that in some form communicate our USPs, our values, and attract new customers by conveying our values and our messaging and why they should buy our product in that creative. So those are the two campaigns that you want to set up, and those are the only two campaigns that you want to run: a DPA remarketing campaign and a general remarketing campaign. So we've talked about the what, now let's talk about the who. So who should you retarget? And this kind of depends on the size of and the scale of your operation and your e-commerce brand. Meaning, if you have more than 15,000 monthly visitors on your website, then I would go ahead and actually keep my remarketing window as small as possible. There's something called the lag time that you can find within Google Analytics, and that is the time that, you know, that that it takes someone after their first visit on your website to, on average, purchase or make a buying decision with you. For the majority of brands, especially low average order value brands, meaning brands that have an average order value lower than $200, this will be, this time will be lower than 10 days. So for all of you guys out there that have an e-commerce brand or any type of operation that, that actually drives more than 50 to 20,000 monthly visitors on their website, I would go ahead and usually keep my remarketing window lower than 10 days. For all of you that are just starting out with their operation and, they don't really have a lot of other traffic sources coming in, and they're just trying to make something work right now, for those of you who have less than 15,000 monthly visitors on their website, I would go ahead and try to actually grow as broad as possible. And that is, kind of people that have engaged with our brand on social as well as website visitors for maybe the last up to 90 days or whatsoever. And the reason being is because for those people that have just such a small kind of, remarketing audience to begin with, it is kind of not necessarily so advisable to go ahead and actually narrow their remarketing audience down so much, because it would just give you too small of an audience to begin with. However, obviously, the smaller the audience, the more qualified, or the more likely it is that actually somebody or that a person is actually going to convert with you. Meaning, if I have been onto your website yesterday, I'm much more likely to actually buy with you something today than if I had engaged with your, Facebook post 90 days ago. Right? So therefore, if you do have that ability to go ahead and actually keep your remarketing window small, given your bigger remarketing audiences to begin with, then definitely go that way. And that is who you should retarget the smallest audience possible. However, if you still kind of have those growth and scaling ceilings and scaling limitations, then make sure to really keep it broad and also kind of treat that remarketing audience a little bit more like, okay, there are people that might also just have engaged with us 90 days ago on our Instagram profile, So those are the two things that you actually need to set up your campaign. The what, meaning your dynamic product remarketing ad campaign, as well as your general remarketing campaign, right? And the who, meaning what are the people that you should retarget. If you have more than 50,000 monthly visitors on your website, then you should retarget people that are in your lag time, meaning usually like people that have engaged with you in the last 10 days. And if you have a lower traffic volume on your website, or generally less people that engage with your brand, then you should try to go broader. Now, when you have then launched those two campaigns in the first place, really leave them running. The purpose also for this setup is not to be in your ad account checking your numbers day in, day out and trying to, tweak something here and there. You should have those two campaigns, and you should have the one ad set in each of those campaigns. And with the dynamic product remarketing campaign, I usually have two ad sets in there, which is one, I'm just dynamically pulling one image, and secondly, dynamic carousel it's called, where it's dynamically pulling different images and putting them into a carousel. And with the general remarketing campaign, you just want to have a couple of creatives generally talking about your brand, hopefully overcoming some kind of customer objections and really making sure that you educate maybe your consumer a little bit more about your product and your USPs and value propositions. But then you should leave it running. Every once in a while, every 7 days or every second week, I would go into that ad account and take a look at 3 different metrics, which is your CPM, your click-through rate, and your CPC. Those are the 3 metrics that I would probably optimize for, or that I would generally optimize for if I was you. The reason being why I wouldn't necessarily, especially in the first place, look so much at cost per purchase or conversion rate coming from this traffic is that if you have done your prospecting efforts right in the first place, this should be traffic that is already qualified to buy with you, right? Because you're remarketing people. You're not trying to reach out to new people and you're considering whether, they're buying with you. If you are clear and if you know that you have a product that is actually in demand and you have done a good job at generating demand for this product, tapping into those remarketing audiences should be an audience that is naturally qualified to buy with you, and therefore you should only be looking out for the cost of traffic to get this person that is either way qualified to buy with you again onto your website. And the three, or the inputs that are actually influencing your cost of traffic are your CPM, cost per mil, how much are you paying to get into front of 1,000 people, and your CTR, meaning how many of those people are actually clicking through your ad. And this will then, those two input metrics will ultimately end into one output metric, which is your cost per click or your cost of traffic, whatever you want to name it, right? So those are the three things that I would optimize for, and then just take it from there, right? Think about, okay, how can I improve like my click-through rate, in order to maybe get a lower cost per purchase, lower cost per click. If, for example, however, your CPM is super, super high, then you should maybe reevaluate whether Facebook ads is actually, something that you should be setting up right now for your brand, because it might be just possible that your CPM is way too high to actually get a cost per click or a viable cost of traffic to make, those remarketing campaigns worth it. So those are just a couple of pointers here and there, but this is the general setup that you want to have happening, or that you want to have active in your ad account, and that I would say every brand should have active in their ad account, right? Make sure to just, go ahead, establish and set up those two campaigns, put in a couple of ad creatives in there into the general remarketing campaign. The dynamic product remarketing campaign doesn't even require any creative efforts, right? And remarket the people according to the traffic volume that you generally get across your different brand fronts, let's say. So that's pretty much it. And then every week or every second week, you go in, evaluate your performance by those three metrics, and then take it from there. Maybe launch a different creative, try to go with a different angle, try to talk about a particular objection, try to cycle in a new creative, and then let it run for another week. So this will literally take you every week, probably like 30 minutes to an hour to think about that, evaluate and analyze your data set there, and take a proper action. Don't overthink it. Don't overcomplicate it. If you are not at the point to properly run Facebook ads, either due to budget limitations or due to other type of business development issues that just require your time and effort to be at a different place right now, then don't overcomplicate it. That is the setup that you should go with. So with that being said, thank you for, listening. Thank you for spending some time with me here. If you want to know more about how to, grow your e-commerce brand sustainably over the long run with the help of, Facebook ads and other paid media channels, and make sure to check out my channel. And if you think that this is valuable, then also, hit the subscribe button and hit the like button right below this video. It helps more than you could ever imagine. It really motivates me to continue to record those hopefully value-packed videos for you. So with that being said, thanks, and talk to you in the next one.